For some people, becoming famous is a lifelong goal, no matter how it's achieved. Whether they receive notoriety as a world-renowned celebrity, or simply because of their bizarre interest in a subject many don't care for, or for that matter, have ever even thought of, you name it, they'll try it. From the woman who has nails so long they hurt, to the British man keen on becoming a human cyborg, here are 15 strangest records of all time. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos every day. That being said, let's begin. Number 15. Longest nails in the world. Ayanna Williams holds the title for the longest fingernails in the world on a pair of hands. The Texan native boasts nails of at least 20 inches in length on most fingers, whilst others have peaked at 26 inches. Although thrilled to make the 2018 Guinness Book of World Records, she has spoken openly about the difficulties that came with gaining such notoriety. Determined to push for the record, it began over 2 decades ago, quite by accident. Ayanna's friend had noticed her nails were already quite long, at 3 inches, and she encouraged her to see how far she could go. Fast forward 23 years, and her fingernails have reached an unbelievable combined length of 18 feet 10.9 inches, which was enough to land her the record. Having achieved the goal, she thinks it might be time to call it quits, as her nails do cause her some discomfort because of their length. She is not the only one to have chased a record of the nail variety. The 2015 record holder of the longest fingernails ever recorded on a single hand was awarded to an 82-year-old man who had been growing his nails ever since he was a teenager. Sridhar Chilal's nails are said to be extremely fragile and, due to their weight, have left his hand permanently handicapped. Unsurprisingly, they were finally removed in 2018 and are now on display at Ripley's Believe It or Not in Times Square. Number 14. Neil Harbisson. Neil Harbisson has dedicated his life to art and technology, a dedication that has taken him so far as to have an antenna planted within his skull. This implantation technically classes him as the first official government-recognized cyborg here on Earth. Through the implant, Harbisson is said to have acquired new senses that allow him to perceive colors through sounds, a process quite difficult for most human brains to handle. Diagnosed with achromatopsia at birth, he was unable to perceive any colors beyond black, white, and gray. Therefore, he has welcomed the benefits provided to him through the antenna. As you can imagine, the process to have an antenna implanted in your brain isn't a straightforward one. In fact, Harbisson compiled significant research around the subject before speaking to countless doctors and a bioethical committee. The committee weren't keen on the procedure at all. However, he eventually found a surgeon who was willing to carry it out in Barcelona, and the rest is history. Harbisson has appeared on many documentaries and believes cyber body modifications could be used in medicine in the future. Number 13. Bulging eyes. An intriguing party trick great for Halloween, bulging or popping your eyes out is a skill you would think would be saved for cartoons only. However, that is not necessarily the case. Although a rather uncomfortable thought, American Kim Goodman demonstrated her eye-popping prowess when moving her eyes out of the basins as far as 12 centimeters. The record was set in Turkey in 2007 and, unsurprisingly, hasn't been challenged to that level since. What's even more bizarre is her motive behind the record. Goodman was in an accident on Halloween night one year, injuring her eye to the point where it popped out and she had to pop it back in. For some reason, this rather horrific circumstance inspired her to experiment, and she soon realized she had total control over her eyeballs and how they moved in and out of their sockets. Apparently, Goodman says there's no real trick to this. It's simply a special gift that even she doesn't understand. Accident or not, she has now become world famous, appearing on countless television shows and commercials throughout the country. Number 12. Greater concentration of Smurfs. The Smurfs movie inspired this unusual world record, where 2,762 die-hard fans decided to get together in fully Smurf cosplay in Lautringen, Germany. In full blue livery, the gathering was confirmed as the highest number of Smurfs in one location. There were also several rules around how individuals were counted. Each member of the group had to be painted in blue from head to foot and in costume with the mandatory signature white cap. Organizers in Lautringen were close to beating the record in 2016, but they fell short and only managed 2,149 Smurfs. These gatherings weren't the only Smurf-related ones either, with Wisconsin setting a record for the largest collection of Smurf memorabilia in 2014 with a total of 6,320 items. Smurf's creator, Pierre Culliford, would be proud to know that his creation has sparked such a buzz amongst the fan base. Number 11. World's wealthiest pets. There are many rich individuals around the globe, with many of us only able to dream of being quite so fortunate. This fact is made all the more frustrating when you discover some people's pets are just as wealthy. Such is the case with Blackie, who in 1988 became the world's richest cat due to its owner Ben Ree, an antique dealer, passing away. Blackie inherited a $12.5 million fortune as Ree decided not to recognize his family and instead bestow his wealth upon Blackie and 3 cat charities that would be tasked with taking care of Blackie. A very fortunate feline, Blackie was the only surviving cat out of the 15 that Ben Ree had lived with. As for other animals, the world's richest dog, Gunther, is a German Shepherd who inherited $65 million when his owner, the late Countess Carlotta Liebenstein, passed away in 1992. Gunther's money was managed by Doggy Estate. They invested every penny, increasing his wealth to a whopping $375 million. The money has since been used to invest in expensive mansions and villas all around the world. Inheritances left to cats and dogs are peculiar enough. However, in 2011, Miles Blackwell, a publishing mogul, passed away. In his will, he left a $10 million fortune to his pet chicken, Gigoo. Yeah, that's right, folks. There's a chicken out there that's a multi-millionaire. Insane. Number 10. The longest mustache in the world. Ram Singh Chauhan, a fella from Jaipur, has grown the world's longest mustache, which sits at an impressive 14 feet in length. Inspired by the mustache of Karna Beale in the 70s, he felt he should follow suit, and after 30 years, he never looked back. This was eventually recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records and has left him with the opportunity to travel all over and get cast in Hollywood and Bollywood pictures, one of which being the classic James Bond film Octopussy. Chauhan's mustache takes a great deal of maintenance daily to keep it looking top-notch. In fact, he and his wife spend at least 2 hours a day grooming it. Chauhan is most definitely a great ambassador for Movember, but whether or not anyone can match the 30-year journey is a different story entirely. Number 9. World's tallest and shortest man. What else can be said? One is the height of Doctor Who's TARDIS, and the other the height of 6 cans of beans. The two men who hold opposite records came together in London in 2014, where photos were posed for and a rather awkward handshake took place. This particular event was the 10th annual Guinness World Records Day, which was a celebration of records around the globe which each of these men had achieved. One of those, Cosin, a 37-year-old farmer, became the tallest living male in 2009, measuring at a daunting 8 feet 3 inches. He overtook former record holder Ji Shun from China, who stood at 7 feet 9 inches. Cosin also holds the record for having the largest hands of a living human, which measure 11.2 inches from his wrist right to the tip of his middle finger. Meanwhile, Dongi, who holds the record for the shortest adult human ever, measures a measly 21.5 inches in height. Guinness World Records have since verified him as the shortest human ever. Mr. Dongi spent most of his life working in his village of Reem Kohli. He weighed 32 pounds and helped to look after buffaloes and cows within the village. He has since, sadly, passed away at 75 years old, losing the fight to his primordial dwarf condition, a condition that usually doesn't see those suffering live past 30. Throughout his life, he touched the world with his incredible heart and strength. Considering his size, he led a life that punched well above expectancy. Number 8. World's largest teddy bear. Mexico was the place in which an incredible sight made it into the record books. The picture was that of an over 65-foot-long teddy bear, dubbed the largest ever in the world. The bear took 3 months to stitch together, and 48 creators collaborated on the project. The process included 10 seamstresses and 600 meters of fabric, with the local government and sponsors investing around $500,000 to the project. Named Juanita after the town it resides in, the bear was created in an attempt to reach the record books and perhaps reactivate the economy of Juana Catalan, as they felt they should be positioned as one of the largest and highest quality producers of stuffed animals on the planet. Measuring the 4.4-ton stuffed bear took more than 5 hours to measure at a football stadium within the town. The Guinness adjudicator confirmed that this bear was indeed the largest, and it had successfully toppled the 55-foot bear created by Kansas resident Dana Warren in 2008. Eat it, Dana. The bear is now a massive part of the town's Children's Day festivities. Number 7. The world's tallest sandcastle. As children, we've all wanted to achieve a great beast of a sandcastle when taking our family trips to the beach. But a group of sculptors and technicians took this to a completely different level when they achieved a world record in June of 2019. The team members hailed from various countries, including Russia, Poland, Hungary, Germany, Holland, and Latvia. They spent well over 3 weeks building a structure that required an estimated 24,250 pounds of sand. The diameter of the castle measured up to more than 85 feet, while it also stood at a colossal 57 feet and 11 inches. Thomas van den Dungen, a sculptor who had been trying to achieve the record since early 2017, put this project together. What's even better about this attempt is that they didn't just build any old tower, they really implanted some details into the castle, as many believe it resembles something you'd see in Game of Thrones. This wouldn't have been possible with any ordinary sand, however, as the sand that is used for the Bin's annual castle competition is shipped from the Netherlands. This sand is said to be far easier to sculpt with, which is why some of the creations come out looking very detailed and lifelike. Number 6. World's largest snow maze. Sure, sandcastles are fun and all, but some places don't get to experience snow for lengthy periods. But when they do, they like to showcase their skills in building snowmen, forts, and now, apparently, mazes. 3 weeks of work and 300 truckloads of snow later, and Canadian Clint Massey achieved what has been dubbed as the world's largest snow maze, finding its way into the Guinness World Records in 2019. Massey believes this was a moment his life had led him to with his interest in building corn mazes over a 21-year period. The record was no easy task either. It cost him well over $40,000 to pay for labor, trucks, artificial snow, generators, and fuel in order to erect this structure. The maze was a solid structure with 2 feet wide walls that stood an astounding 6.5 feet tall. Massey and his team took the time to scatter multiple statues around the maze, along with fire pits to keep those that entered comfortable and warm. His maze is 30,021 square feet, and he has drawn massive success with around 1,000 visitors a day during the opening weekend. The maze is located south of Winnipeg and takes an estimated 30 minutes to navigate. It has drawn plenty of attention from overseas, with many people coming from the likes of Spain and Pennsylvania to lay their eyes on the structure. Number 5. Egg photo most liked on Instagram. Kylie Jenner can't have been all too enthused upon discovering she had been knocked off her Insta post by an egg. For context, out of nowhere, an Instagram post of an egg became the most liked picture with more than 30.5 million likes following it. This surpassed the previous record holder, Kylie Jenner, whose picture of her and her daughter Stormi racked up a pretty respectable 18 million likes. BuzzFeed News confirmed that the egg came from an account run by Henrietta, a chicken hailing from the British countryside. The egg was named Eugene. Jenner wasn't all that worried, and since made it her mission to try and retake the record. In fact, she even took a small but friendly crack at the fact that the egg only had 2.9 million followers, while she had progressed to a massive 123 million. Nothing wrong with a little friendly competition between a Jenner and an egg. The internet definitely seemed to like it, with memes scattered across all forms of social media. Exceptional. Number 4. The Real Ice Bucket Challenge. Sitting in a box of ice can't be all that enjoyable. Even on a scorching hot day, many would deem it to be just a little uncomfortable. Whatever the case, in 2011, Jin Song-hao and Chen Kasai attempted to beat the record held by 51-year-old Wim Hof, who had spent just under 2 hours, or 115 minutes, in the ice. The rules of the record were that you must only wear a swimsuit or boxers. The two stood in separate but transparent boxes. Ice cubes filled the boxes up to their necks, with Kasai lasting 118 minutes, but was pulled out due to worrying body temperature drops. Meanwhile, Song-hao pulled off the record, managing to hit the 2-hour mark. If that wasn't enough, the pair attempted it again in 2016, where Chen managed to bowl over the previous record, staying in the ice for close to 129 minutes. Since both of them are from the Chinese province of Heilongjiang, the frozen border of Siberia where temperatures drop to -40 degrees, there's little wonder why they are able to achieve such a feat. Number 3. More than 4,500 women performed the world's largest traditional Cognac folk dance. In April of 2019, the largest Cognac dance took place when approximately 4,687 women spanning from 130 villages got together for a majestic display of traditional folk dance consisting of brightly colored costumes and catchy, melodious songs. This was brought about by the Cognac Union, a social organization that were driven to preserve Cognac's diverse culture. The best way for them to do so was to be ambitious and attempt the record break during the Aoliang Festival, which is an annual celebration of the beginning of spring. The festivities carry through the 1st to 6th of April, and it's quite common for all Cognac residents to be adorned in traditional clothing, a sight quite bizarre for modern times. The event brings in plenty of spectators, as the scenes and sounds of more than 4,000 women singing and dancing is just an incredible sight to behold. Number 2. A Longhorn's oversized horns. Considering 6-year-old Pancho Villa doesn't reside in the Lone Star State, it's rather interesting that he managed to set the Guinness World Record for possessing the longest set of horns on any other Texas Longhorn ever. These steer's horns measured from tip to tip at 10 feet 7.4 inches. Young Pancho was brought up by the Pope family on a farm in Goodwater, Alabama. In 2013, Gerald Pope Sr. asked for assistance from a local vet in locating a pet longhorn, which was a fascination that grew from a trip out west where the elder Pope spotted longhorn cattle. He decided that he fancied owning one, or a few, of his own. He finally purchased a 6-month-old animal, which they claimed was a gentle giant. The name Pancho Villa came from a play on the famous Mexican revolutionary Pancho Villa. The Pope family often measured horns as a way of friendly competition, but soon enough, measuring Pancho's horns became more of a necessity, as they noticed his horns expanding to much higher measurements than previous steers. Oddly enough, considering his age, Pancho shouldn't have even come close to the world record books. Number 1. Largest supported sculpture made from drinking straws. Von Wong, a Canadian artist, utilized reclaimed plastic to his advantage, creating a massive plastic sculpture that included over 160,000 straws. Wong's sculpture was a symbol built to raise awareness about single-use plastic pollution and why it's problematic in the world's oceans. Wong and Zero Waste Saigon organized and worked in tandem in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam to create the largest drinking straw sculpture in January of 2019. This attempt was supported by Starbucks, who sponsored it, and even went as far as installing used straw collection bins at several of their stores throughout Vietnam. Over a 6-month period, a great number of straws were collected from Starbucks and cleanup groups. Once they had all been collected, washed, and sorted, the project began. It took multiple days and around 50 volunteers, but by the end, they had created a wonderful sculpture 10 feet tall, 36 feet long, and 14 feet wide. The piece depicts the parting of the plastic ocean, which has been made available for residents to walk through as a way of showing people just how much trash is generated every single day. A unique way to depict the enormity of the problem, the physical representation of a global issue was well received by the public, and it would seem the record books. Eyes that pop out of their sockets to the world's wealthiest pets, it seems that nothing is sacred when it comes to the Guinness Book of World Records. Established in 1954 and first published in 1955, the record book is coveted by those passionate to make its pages all over the globe. From the weird and wacky to the intriguing and interesting, this list is just a sample of records that have made the history books over the years. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.